Hey everyone, for this video I want to talk a bit about risk. We all have risk in our lives, whether we're driving to and from work, going to the grocery store, walking around our neighborhood, heck, even eating. So it's all risk. How do we handle risk, right? In the workplace, we have to identify risk because in the workplace, depending on your field, you have a lot of risk. Some may not be that big of a deal, others are extremely big deal. But if you don't identify them, you can't have ways to get them fixed, or at least find ways to control, mitigate the risk, right? So the first step is you have to identify the risk. You have to look at that function completely. Leadership, all the employees working in that area, that function, what's risk? Then you got to write it down. So that's where a system comes into play. That's where the work instructions, standard operating procedures, whatever your company may have, comes into play. And in there, you have to identify the risk. Then how do you mitigate it? How do you handle it? That has to be in there. So once you have that identified, you have a better chance of having whatever you're doing be the right way all the time for your customer and client without these risks popping in and causing issues with whatever you're doing. So identify it, document it, review it. So you may have management reviews every now and then. Okay, so part of that should be reviewing your risks. Have all the risks been identified? Has anything new popped up recently? Have your mitigating actions worked? If not, have you resolved them? So it should be part of a regular review. If you have subcontractors in your work locations, they need to identify risks as well because you are giving them work to do. So they need to identify what a risk is for them. And oftentimes, it happens all the time, that everyone focuses on safety risks, right? Safety is important. That's why we have OSHA and all these other safety rules. We want to be safe in what we do. They always ignore quality risks. Do you have the right personnel? Do you have enough personnel? Do they have the right training? Do you have enough materials and equipment to be successful? Is transportation an issue? Weather a problem? Those can all be quality risks that you can identify and mitigate so it doesn't impact your customer and client in a negative way. Okay, so there's something to think about.